Hi friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life. Hope you're having a great day. And today what I want to discuss with you is activated charcoal. Today I'm making some. I'm going to just bring it right down. I've got my rubber gloves on. Why? Because activated charcoal it can stain and so forth. I even have covers on my counter, and just because my counter is dark, it does not mean you don't want to protect it. But the thing is activated charcoal is really good. So some of you have seen when I made my turmeric capsules that I have kits so that I can make my own capsules and I don't have to buy them. And why do I do that? It's because I know what's in my herbal medicines. So what I do, I've already put the capsules in here, and I'll show you real quick. These are the caps that go on it. I don't know if you can see the little guys, but probably not. All right. This is what they look like, and or maybe I should. This is size 00, and what I do is I just fill them, and it takes a while to put them through into these areas. There's about 100 capsules here, and what I do is I just put them activated charcoal into the capsules. Put a little bit of light on here. And what I do is I just fill these capsules. And if you've seen my video on making turmeric capsules, I'll link it up above so that you can kind of refer back to it. But this is what I do when I make most of my herbal medicine. And as you know, that sometimes as I'm thinking, as I'm working, I stop talking. Okay, so what I do is I fill them up as best I can. Now, you'll see that I'm leaving some of this activated charcoal there because the next process is to press them into the capsules. And as you can see, oops, they are not completely full, because activated charcoal is a very some of my herbs are thick. Activated charcoal is a very fine powder, and I'm going to share a little bit about why activated charcoal is good. I'm going to share the benefits and the cautions. The reason that we use activated charcoal is for, if we're exposed to chemicals. I use it after I've had an MRI or a CAT scan or anything like that where I'm exposed to radiation. And even though they say, oh, it's not too much, even after a mammography, I've done it there too. And more so if they make you use chemical type things, if you have to drink those wonderful fluids. So I just keep doing this until I know that they are full. My husband just got back, so the door will open. You're going to see the noise. You're going to hear the noise and see the light. So, but this is what I do. I keep doing this until the capsules are full. How'd it go? The reason I'm making these today is my husband uses these more than I do. And the reason is due to his type of allergy at work. It's a chemical allergy. So he uses these after work. And how he does it is when he gets in his car before coming home, he takes a capsule and then he consumes water on the trip home. And why does he consume water? You need to make sure that you use plenty of water afterwards. Now, you can choose not to. I mean, that's really up to you if you like constipation. But if you don't, I would highly recommend that you drink plenty of water with this. Okay, I think I am just about done here. And what I do with the excess, and I do like, it's really important, I can't share it enough, that it's really important that you have something on your counter, because look at how stained the gloves are. And the reason that I put it, and I should actually have an apron on, I just take the extra because I can, and I just put it back into the container the best I can. And you're going to spill this stuff, so just what I do is I buy the activated charcoal and then in powder form, and then I make my own capsules. I have found that it's cheaper for me. Now, maybe I just made this look easy. When you're making all your own capsules, it's a pain in the neck. I'll be truthful there. All right, so then I take this part off, and I still have more on here. And what I do after I use these, see, after I make activated charcoal, I have to wash this up really, really good because it just stains this. Then what I do is I put this over the part that has the top pieces, because what it does is it holds the capsule tops in there. And you just bring it over and you just press down. And you would have seen this when I made the turmeric capsules. You just press it down so that the top and the bottom create the capsule. And hopefully everything turned out good. Sometimes I like to do it just to press it down to make sure they're all connected, because you know, this is not in a manufacturing facility. Sometimes you have to do things a little bit more manual. Now hang with me, I'm going to be telling you the benefits of using activated charcoal in just a little bit. So get a clean jar and you've got your activated charcoal. And sometimes I just make sure that they're together okay. And you just put them in your jar, and then you have them for use when you need activated charcoal. And by wearing gloves, I have prevented myself from getting really dirty hands. I will be putting another pair of gloves on because what I want to do is finish this up, but I want to keep my hands clean. But I wanted to talk to you. So here we have some activated charcoal capsules, and I'll put the rest of them in, so I'll have about 100 of them. Why do we use them? And I mentioned my husband uses it because he has a reaction to the chemicals that are in some of the things that he makes at work. He worked at another company a long time ago, and we didn't know about activated charcoal back then, and I wish I had, because he got really sick and he was in the hospital with pneumonia. And so as he's dealing with asthma issues, we are trying to be proactive. And so what he does is he takes one of these after he gets out of work, and I've already shared that, and then he drinks water on the trip home. So he has an hour drive. He has plenty of time to consume 8 to 16 ounces of water. And that is really important. I know I talk about drinking water all the time, and it might make you go to the bathroom a lot, but you know something? It's actually really good for your whole system to flush it through. All right, so what I want to share with you, first of all, what is activated charcoal? One of the things is it's a detoxification, and it has a lot of potential benefits. But what it is a byproduct of burning coconut shells, bamboo, olive pits, wood, and various other substances. And it's actually something that you should have in your medicine cabinet. And I will explain it a little bit more. but this is not the charcoal that you would use in your grill. So please don't think you can go get your charcoal that you use for the grill and mash it up and use it as a supplement. It is not the same thing. It is processed at a very high temperature, and it's activated in a way that changes its structure to increase the surface area and make it more porous. It is the porousness of the activated charcoal that makes it effective at attaching and absorbing to toxins and flushing them out of the body. So you can see, I mean, this is, it's stained. You can make things. If you need to stain something black and you want to use something natural, you can use activated charcoal. But if you're staining products, then just take some of your charcoal from the grill, because that'll be better. But I like using activated charcoal. We've had it in the house for a number of years. And like I said, I've used it for after an MRI, after anything that I think that I've been around toxic, oftentimes, and we are not around people who smoke, but we have been. If we're in company where people are just chain smoking, it really hurts my chest. And my dad used to be a chain smoker, and so when I used to go visit, my parents were divorced, the smoke in the car hurt my lungs so bad. And I wish activated charcoal was available to me back then. But this is why I use it, because things that get into our bodies can really kind of make our lungs just fill up and hurt. And a lot of people who smoke don't realize how painful that is. It can trigger asthma. Smoking can trigger asthma, and it can also cause lung pains. And you know, think about it. It can cause lung cancer, and it's just, as we're inhaling it, secondhand smoke, it's getting into our lungs. So we do whatever possible to stay away from it. And that's why people ask that if it's a smoke-free campus, you shouldn't smoke, because even as you're walking away, you know, your smoke is going into the lungs of people behind you. And I worked at a hospital once, and I was leaving. It was smoke-free campus, and I told the girl in front of me, I said, you know, this is a smoke-free campus. Well, we're outside. It doesn't matter. I said, yes, it does matter. But smokers don't realize that. If they're so used to smoking, they don't understand the concept and how painful it is for some of us to breathe in that secondhand smoke. Okay, we went down a rabbit hole. Now, unlike I mentioned, don't use the briquettes. There are no, okay, what it says is activated charcoal is free of toxins and carcinogens. I can't say that word. Bad stuff. And it's generally safe to consume and apply topically. So you can actually make mascara with this. You can do facial masks. You can brush your teeth with this, but actually don't brush your teeth. Just put it a little bit with some coconut oil. Both items are really good for your teeth, and you can put it on, rinse it out, and then brush your teeth as you normally would. It's just something people do. Now, benefits. It's a detoxification item, and as I said, going into an MRI, chemicals that we inhale, it detoxifies your body like that. I do believe, hold on a second, its purifying qualities in activated charcoal offers potential benefits including detoxification, alleviating gas and bloating, digestive health, lowering cholesterol, reducing the effects of radiation, and anti-aging. Now, I don't take this every day, and I'm 62, so I can't claim that this is helping me. I realize it's starting to get a little dark in here, and I apologize. But activated charcoal is considered to be effective for acute poisoning from a wide variety of drugs and poisons, including Tylenol, aspirin, and tricycline antidepressants. However, it's not useful for poisoning from lithium, iron, cyanide, potassium, and ethanol. So if you have drug poisoning, first of all, get to the hospital. But don't just treat yourself unless you're in a situation that you can't get out of, you can't get to the hospital, you have no means or whatever. Don't self-treat in terms of an emergency situation. I am not a doctor. All I know is what we have been able to use And my doctors know what we use. David's doctor knows what he uses. So this is just something that we have talked about. You can overdose on anything, whether it's natural or pharmaceutical. And that's why, you know, don't overdo. If they say take 2, take 2. Don't do more. So there's no evidence, by the way, to support relieving hangovers. I've never experienced a hangover, so I don't know what that's like. But I guess it's out there that people use it to alleviate their hangovers. I don't know what the remedy is for that, but other than just don't drink, or just don't drink so much. But it's not designed for that. It doesn't help. They've done studies, and so far they haven't shown proof that it does help. If it helps you and you've been doing it, then use it. But for me, I wouldn't know, and I'm just reading what I'm reading here. It's a digestive cleansing, so it can promote overall digestive health. Considered a natural gut cleanser. I can't talk this morning. It's a natural gut cleanser, and it can help lighten the body's toxic load. So if you're doing a body cleanse, you might be encouraged to use these, and it just cleans your body. It lowers cholesterol. This is what they're saying. And how does it do it? What it does is it absorbs and attaches to flush out the cholesterol in the intestines. Lord Almighty, what is wrong with me this morning? Too early. It reduces the effects of radiation. And like I said, I use this all the time. And when I come home after an MRI, most especially the ones that they require chemicals in it so they can see, those scare me. And some of the ones that they've had to use, it's just, I come home and I take 2 now, and then I'll take 2 later, and I do it for 2 days because I just don't want any of those toxins in my body. And I flush my body. And they say it's anti-aging. I don't know, if you make a facial mask. And what it says, with the reduced toxic load, the body experiences less of the oxidative damage that drives the aging process. Another thing that can help, and I need to work on this, is to reduce stress. And that's actually my goal this year. I have a few different goals for this year. And, you know, it's intentional change. And one of those intentional changes is saying no to things that cause stress. And the stress is what can cause aging. And I've been seeing some gray tinsel in my hair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's starting to show up on my videos. You know, that's natural aging though, right? Now, digestive cleansing. So pesticides and heavy metals that come in through the environment and through our foods. And that's why when I talk about try not to eat a lot of processed foods. Can you avoid it? I think you can if you're all vegan or whatever and you're not absorbing other foods. But even the foods that we grow, all the chemicals that are in our environment can seep over into our yard. So you might experience, if your neighbor sprays in their yard, it can seep over into yours. So we can't necessarily avoid it. And then you have chemical sprays and you've got all kinds of stuff going on in the world. Is it over my house? More than likely. And you can see it in the rainwater. You can see stuff getting in. So it's really important to, you know, make sure you're clean, make sure you drink lots and lots of water, which I need some. Flush your body with a lot of water. Now, I'm not saying drink gallons a day. I'm just saying make sure you drink some throughout the day to flush your body. And yeah, drink whatever other fluids that you need. And if you're drinking juices, try to make them fresh, you know. But on the other hand, I don't juice anymore. Sometimes I'll juice, but I like the fiber in my vegetables, so I have a juicer and I use it once in a while, and then I take those fibers and use them into something else. But I don't like to, but it does taste great. It's just that I see so much food being wasted and I'm like, oh no. But you can get juices that are already processed. you have to choose for yourself. Now, if you don't want to use the capsules, one way that you can do it, the recipe is you take 10 grams either as a powder, add it to your water, or in pill form, 90 minutes before each meal for 2 days. Be sure to drink plenty of water to avoid constipation. Now, activated charcoal, and it's in here a little bit later. Activated charcoal is also used for chronic diarrhea because it does get rid of toxins, but it also gets rid of that diarrhea. But if you're having that, generally what we do for diarrhea is we use the brat diet, which we learned about when my kids were little. It's the banana, rice, applesauce, and brat toast. And you use those. Now you don't have to use all four. I tend to just go and make a little dish of rice if I'm having that situation, and it resolves within a half an hour to an hour. It just settles my stomach. Now we have applesauce, bananas I don't always have on hand, and then my husband has toast or whatever. Those things can kind of settle. But if you're having a situation where it's just not stopping, you can't get into the doctor, you can start this. But make sure that if you do go to the emergency room, you tell them what you're using. But personally, if it's that bad, don't wait. Just go to the emergency room. All right, so some of the poisons are not just the exposure to toxic substances, but also drugs and household chemicals. It's handy to keep in your first aid kit. We have it. We have it in our vitamin supplements, and we have it in our first aid, simply for the fact if we ever need it. And what it says is if someone has ingested a chemical, it is essential to first contact 911 or a poison control center immediately. Depending on the type of poison, they may instruct you to administer the activated charcoal at home before going to the emergency room. Do you see what I'm saying here? It's like, even though we have it, you need to, if you're going to do this yourself and you didn't contact 911, you need to at least inform them that that's what you've been using and explain to them what chemical got into your body. More often than not, it'll be somebody who might not be thinking, or I don't know. I think a lot of consumers are trying to take care of their own health, and they're not reading all the potential risks of some of these remedies that are out there. And so you can actually get really sick, and then you get a toxic feeling and so forth. Be really careful. It's sort of like the I mentioned it yesterday. I'll think of it. The herb that I used, that it caused a reaction. The first thing I did when I started feeling really bad and started kind of like crawling because I felt so bad, my heart was bad. It was awful. I took 2 of these, drank a lot of water, and laid down. And I had my husband get me a heat pack because it just kind of calmed things down. And then, then within a half an hour, I was feeling fine. I didn't have to run to the emergency room. But I'll tell you, cilantro, that's what it did to me. I felt like I was dying, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to go to the hospital? What did I do? Be really careful when you're consuming new herbs. Be really careful when you're trying new medications. Now, your doctors are doing their best to give you what they feel is appropriate. So talk to them about different stuff. If you have a reaction like this, immediately get on the phone with them, because they need to know you're having that reaction. Ask them if you can use the activated charcoal, because right there they can just type into their computers and find out if it will help you. Otherwise, they'll say, get to the emergency room or call 911. How many ones? 911. Have somebody get here for you. It can also happen with your herbs. If you are taking too much of a good thing, it can do damage, whether it's herbs, pharmaceuticals, or even over-the-counter medication. So please, because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a nurse, I can't sit here and say, this is good for you. But if you talk to your doctor, sometimes they'll say, I think this will help you. is because they really don't know how your body is going to respond. And the same thing is with even my herbal medicines. What works for me doesn't always work for my husband. My body is so sensitive to things I don't consume as much as other people. So that's a good thing. My stuff lasts longer. And I hate having to take a full course of antibiotics. Oh, I do. But anyways, having activated charcoal in your first aid kit or medicine cabinet can help jumpstart recovery process, but should never replace a healthcare professional. And I know I'm jamming this down your throat, but it's true. You really need to be careful. A facial mask. What it does is it draws out oils. This is what it's saying. I've never used it for a facial mask. It draws out the dirt, the bacteria, and other impurities in the pores, leaving your skin clear, clean, and less prone to breakouts. Is it true? I have no idea. I really don't. What they do is they mix a teaspoon of activated charcoal powder with a tablespoon of honey to make a paste. And you apply it to your face and neck with a cosmetic brush. Keep it on for 5 or 10 minutes, then wash off with your favorite natural cleanser. Personally, I'm not going to do that. I use honey for healing stuff, and if I have a blemish or something, I'll just put it on. But it's been a while since I've had that. And so, I mean, some people do it. You can use it for mascara. So, and I've known that people make the natural mascaras like what I purchase. That's in there for the dark color. So, acne spot removal, what you do is you mix a little bit with aloe vera gel. And you just put it as a spot treatment. I can see people doing that because aloe vera is awesome. This takes out the toxins. This might help. Well, let's go on to teeth whitening. Don't make your toothpaste with it because it's very abrasive. So what you want to do is put a little bit with some coconut oil and just kind of dab it on your teeth, like where you get a lot of plaque in the back of your teeth. You can kind of put it there and then rinse it out. You know, after how many minutes do they suggest? About 3 minutes. So what they say is break open 2 capsules. I would just put a little bit in because I have a powder and the cotton swab and just enough water. And the reason I use coconut oil is because coconut oil is really good for your teeth. I use it when I make my toothpaste. But if you're going to add it with your activated charcoal, do not scrub it on your teeth because it can break down the enamel on your teeth. But it is really good because it will clean out if this is what you choose. So what it does is just be very gentle after you've rinsed out and you're using toothpaste. Just be very gentle with your toothbrush. And I'll show you. I think I once showed you how I make my toothpaste. But right now I'm just telling you what to do. Use natural toothpaste if you can. Flatulence relief. So if you have gas, this is said to help as well. We use aloe vera water. I did a video on that. We really like aloe vera water, and we use, hold on a second. We use George's aloe vera water for gas. We use it for indigestion. We use it, and it's really remarkable. We just take like a 1/4 cup and we drink that. If you have heartburn, like if my husband gets home from work because he gets home late and he wants something to eat because he's hungry, he drinks that because if he doesn't, he has heartburn soon thereafter, so it keeps him up. So as a preventative measure, he drinks that. But activated charcoal is said to do the same thing. So if you don't have aloe vera water on hand, and that's the only one I use. I don't like the other ones that I've got, the aloe vera juice. I haven't found that. I just didn't like the taste, and so that just turned me off. So I use the water. So it helped keep the gas at bay. Activated charcoal was also effective at lowering total and LDL cholesterol levels. Did I move somewhere? Nope, that's where it goes. Okay. It reduces the effects of radiation, as I've talked about. Oh, you know what? I turned the page. So that helps there. Take 1 gram of activated charcoal, like a capsule, and 30 minutes before you eat. So if you have this all the time, the reason we use George's is because it's usually we get the heartburn if, like I'll get heartburn, like we might be eating popcorn at night and I might just be laying back because the food isn't going down properly, so I might get a little heartburn. So I'll just have some George's, but usually if you eat too fast. So if you want to prevent heartburn, slow down, sit up. If you're eating popcorn, talking to myself here, sit up and enjoy it so that you don't get it. But you know what? Sometimes you're just kind of like lazy, sitting back, cuddled up, and you're not eating it right. So that is one way to do it. But activated charcoal, if you always have it and it's a problem, take a capsule or just a little bit. It says 1 gram of the charcoal at least 30 minutes, and you can put it in some water and drink it down. There really isn't a bad flavor to it, so it's not bitter or anything like that. So you can mix it in your water. You might be turned off because of the color, but it still works. Bug bites. I didn't know this, so this is kind of exciting. It can be a remedy for mosquito bites. Isn't that cool? So what you do is in a small bowl, break open a capsule, or if you have powder, just put a little bit in, and using a cotton swab and a half a tablespoon of coconut oil. And you apply it to the bug bite and just leave it there. And eventually the sting, the inflammation will get reduced. Sorry, it doesn't say. Water filtration, just as it can remove impurities from the body, activated charcoal can also remove contaminants from water. Activated charcoal is a key component in many commercially available filtration systems. Ours has a charcoal filter, our Berkey, we have a charcoal filter in there, so it does take out any impurities. And let's see, and it works in a similar way of carbon filtration in the popular Brita water pitchers. We have a Berkey, and we used to have a Brita's, but activated charcoal in water filters may be effective at removing pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals. However, there's always a however, it is less effective at removing fluoride, viruses, bacteria, and hard water minerals. So if you're sick, if you think about it, it says viruses and bacteria. This will not solve that. You still need treatment. You need to do what's necessary. Use your herbs, whatever, to protect yourself. But if you get a virus that you can't take care of, or bacteria infection, and it's not being resolved by herbs or whatever method you choose, just know your doctors are around the corner to help you. That's their job. Air purification. In the same spirit, activated charcoal is also effective as a filter for air purification, much like baking soda. Let's see, activated charcoal bags can be placed in refrigerator, car, pet areas, gym bags, and other places to freshen the air. You can get these all over the place. You can get them online at that big company, and you can get them from, okay, I'll just tell you, you can get them on Amazon, Walmart, but there are other places to get these if you are choosing not to use these particular venues. And you know, and you can ask at your hardware stores, your local hardware stores, and you should be able, they might be able to help you get them, or they might special order them for you. You know what? The one question that is the bad question is when you don't ask. So just ask. They might be able to get it. Now, activated charcoal comes in pills and tablets, and you can create your own capsules. And it mentions capsules. And it comes in a powder, which is what I've shown you. A jar of fine jet black activated charcoal powder is handy for a variety of uses. In case of poisoning or the ingestion of toxins, activated charcoal powder is mixed with the liquid and given as a drink, or in emergency rooms, administered through a tube from the mouth to the stomach. For more common household use, activated charcoal powder can be used in small amounts for teeth whitening and other remedies. Remember, don't brush it onto your enamel. Just kind of dab it in there and kind of let it be. You're not going to have a horrible taste. I do this once in a great while. I don't do it every day, and just kind of, because it makes my teeth black. But, you know, on the benefit, once I've rinsed it out a couple of times, you just brush your teeth a few times and your teeth are white. Let's see. It is important. Here's some side type information. It is important to remember that activated charcoal not only absorbs toxins and unwanted chemicals in the body, but it can get rid of good things too, such as nutrients from food, supplements, and prescription medicines, making them less effective. Again, yesterday I shared you need to let your physicians know what you are taking holistically, what is in your medicine cabinet. If you tell them you have activated charcoal in your medicine cabinet or they're prescribing something, you can ask them, if I have a reaction, can I use activated charcoal? Generally, if I am having a reaction to a prescription, I'm usually on the phone calling them, hey, this is what's happening. This is not cool. I can ask them, can I use this? And basically, I have things out before I call them. I've got my aspirin, Tylenol, ibuprofen, and ibuprofen, Tylenol don't work for me. But I take these out and I say, this is what I have. Can I take any of these? And they guide you. You're on the phone for a minute or two, sometimes maybe a little longer if they have to look it up. But that is why you want to let them know. Plus, if you're taking a medicine that is meant to take care of you, you don't want the activated charcoal to reverse that. So that's why I don't, sorry docs, if any of you are listening, I don't like pharmaceuticals. It's not that I don't support the use of them. There are just so many toxins that come into our bodies through them. But I do think that they are effective when it's appropriate. So don't be one that goes to the doctor after you've seen an advertisement on the TV and say, hey, I want to try that, because you don't know what kind of toxins you are putting into your body. And sometimes patients pressure their physicians, and many physicians say no, but you shouldn't be doing that. You should talk to them and say, I saw this, what is the benefit? Remember that advertising is meant to sell a product. Doesn't mean that it's good for you. So keep that in mind. If they're just trying to sell you a product, then think twice. And if you remember on all those prescription things, that list that they have to read so fast, there's a problem. It's like, I am not going on that. And I did a study in, I think it was either my surgical tech class or my nursing assistant program. Nope, it was my medical coding classes. I did a report on medication and the side effects. And I picked one medication and I shared the side effects, and I did some research, and I'm like, whoa, I am not going to use that. And I won't share which one that is. You know how I sometimes get brain fog? That medicine is still right here. I will never take it. But you need to be informed. I think the advertising is great because you've heard of it, and your doctor may say, have you heard of this? We don't get TV, so I have no idea what medicines are out there. But you need to do some research before you ask your doctor about a medication. And before you go and pick it up at the pharmacy, if your doctor has not taken the time to tell you the details, the dangers, the side effects, or any of that, you can go online. RX List is one place, and you can find these things out. Now, for the physicians and healthcare providers that might be listening to me, I don't mean to ditch your profession at all. I truly respect you. But patients and you need to work together, and that's, if my doctor tells me that, here, this works for most people, I'm not going to take it. I need to know how it works. And also say, okay, if this doesn't work for me, I'm not going to stay on it very long. You are a consumer of health. You are a patient. And you need to know that you have the right to ask questions. Don't be argumentative. Don't be insulting. Just be kind and ask questions, and they will have respect for you as well. Let's see, what else? It is best to take, I think I shared this, it's best to take activated charcoal on an empty stomach between meals so that it does not affect the absorption of nutrients. So if you are on a prescription, whether it's blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever, although this is supposed to help cholesterol, take it like 90 minutes before any of your supplements. Take it 90 minutes before eating anything. And as I said, keep drinking some water. I don't care if you have to go to the bathroom a lot. It's just part of nature, folks. And let's see. So take it 90 minutes to 2 hours prior to supplements and prescription medications. Keep in mind that activated charcoal can make your stool turn black, but this is a temporary and harmless side effect. In addition, be sure to drink, see, it's telling you, drink plenty of water to prevent constipation when taking activated charcoal. It's considered safe during pregnancy. At least one study, I guess, supports that. It supports its use in, all right, I don't know how to say this, cholestasis, cholestasis. So cholestasis. When I was taking medical studies, I used to have to practice these words over and over, and that's one I never seen. It's a condition marked by the reduction of stoppage of bile flow during pregnancy. So if you are pregnant, they say it's safe for you, but talk to your physician. See what they say. I also read that it's good for, and I don't know if it says it here, morning sickness. It does say it here. But I think you have to talk to your physician, because a lot of times they recommend ginger. You know why we don't like ginger? It's some of the preventative measures, like before a medical procedure. And then, like, my daughter ended up trying ginger for her morning sickness, and she can't stand ginger anymore. It's interesting because I like ginger cookies, and so I think there's a place for it, but that does not mean a ginger cookie is a remedy. That has sugar and everything else. This was long-winded, and in a sense, it's what, 41 minutes I'm going on. I just wanted to share this because, first of all, my husband says, Laura, I'm all out, and he's been out for a couple of weeks. That's how often we have these. He likes having them because he likes taking it as he gets out of work. But the days he's not at work, he doesn't take these, and he only takes one. And these are just, they're not very big. It's a number 00 capsule. It would gag me, but I do take them if necessary. I was going to use smaller capsules, but I didn't have enough to make those, so he'll just take one of these. Again, if you don't want to make your own and you want to have the powder because you're afraid of additives in your medicine, you can get the powder and you can just put it in some water and consume it that way. Don't put tons in. You don't need a lot. When you're working with herbs and stuff, you don't need tons. Our bodies don't need that. It's sort of like, you can look at the dietary items, the foods that are really good for you, and then you can end up like a salad. You can put all the ingredients and have this huge salad. And now I do eat big salads, but if you have a real huge salad that should be shared with everybody, you don't need a whole pepper. You don't need more than one tomato. You want to balance out your food. And so what I'm saying is, you don't eat all the vegetables and fruit all in one day. You kind of like make variations throughout the week so that you're getting nutrition throughout the way you live. Same thing with medicine. Do not overconsume. Take it in moderation. And if your doctor says, hey, you know what, you would benefit with 2 of these a day, then that's medical advice. I'm not offering medical advice. I am sharing things that we use for methods to help us when we don't want to go to the doctor, or if this works, which we have found to be effective. But if it's not effective, that's what I'm saying is, make sure you know the difference between sitting there drinking a gallon of aloe vera water. Don't do that. Don't consume a whole jar of these, because it's actually not good. And you're not going to move some bowels, and trust me, you do not want to be constipated with this stuff. I haven't tried that, but I'm just saying, don't do it. So I know I went on a tangent a few times, but I think it's really important to make sure your medicine, your go-to bag, your first aid box, and your supplement area, make sure you have some of this on hand. Now, I don't want you to go empty out the shelves at the pharmacy, drugstore, wherever you go for your supplements. I'll make this 100 and it'll last us a while. And even if my husband uses it 5 days a week, times 4 weeks, that's 20. This will last him, if he's the only one using it, a good couple months. So you don't need to empty out the counters. Just have something on hand for an emergency. If I was to go buy 100 capsules, I'd probably buy 2 bottles. But I can make enough for 2 bottles of having 200 on hand. But I wouldn't make more than that because there's no need to make more than that. So I hope that you have a fabulous day, and I hope that you are remaining healthy. You're choosing healthy foods, healthy herbs, and working with your physician. I'm not big at going to the clinics right now. Truly, I'm not. But I am a believer that our physicians, if you have a physician who you can trust and talk to, they really are your partner in your health. I just don't like the system right now. So that being said, be proactive in your health, be kind to your healthcare providers, and be kind to you and your body. Have a fabulous day, and may God bless you.